An incident ticket says the agent made a bad change. The logs show a few messages, the tool output is scattered across systems, and nobody can reconstruct the timeline between the first instruction and the final commit. This is lesson 25 in Claude Code, Production AI Agents. We are making observability practical with traces, spans, and agent timelines that explain what happened across turns and tools. Lesson 24 calibrated the judge. Now we need the raw operational story underneath the judgment, the sequence of decisions, tool calls, sub-agent handoffs, approvals, and alerts that production teams can inspect. The core idea is this: agent observability reconstructs what happened across turns, tools, and sub-agents. That means you need more than final answers. You need artifacts, traces, checks, and operating rules that let a team compare yesterday, today, and the next release. The visible artifact is the agent timeline trace. It has 5 parts: trace ID, span hierarchy, tool events, human approvals, alert rule. Those parts turn a fuzzy discussion into a concrete review conversation. This part of the visual map matters because it shows the actual moving pieces: turns, tool calls, sub-agents, spans, dashboards. If one of those pieces is invisible, the team will struggle to operate the workflow under pressure. Use this checklist before treating the workflow as ready: trace ID, span hierarchy, tool events, human approvals, alert rule. These are not decorative boxes. They are the operating questions that decide whether the agent can be trusted outside a demo. In practice, this example has 4 parts: unlinked logs, missing spans, alert noise, no KPI, unexplained incidents. The point is to make the agent's work inspectable rather than asking everyone to trust a polished final answer. Score the design against this rubric: trace ID, span hierarchy, tool events, human approvals, alert rule. A weak score does not mean the idea is useless. It means the workflow needs stronger boundaries before it becomes production work. Day 2 is the real test for observability: traces, spans, and agent timelines. A new model version, tool version, policy update, or dataset change enters the workflow. The team should be able to compare the new run with the previous run, inspect the evidence, and decide whether the difference is improvement, regression, or noise. Without that comparison path, the agent may change faster than the organization can understand. Use this implementation checklist before expanding scope: turns, tool calls, sub-agents, spans, dashboards. Each item should produce a concrete artifact, not only a meeting note. If the artifact cannot be inspected later, it will not help during review, audit, or incident response. Block release when these risks appear: unlinked logs, missing spans, alert noise, no KPI, unexplained incidents. A blocked release is useful information. It tells the team where the system needs stronger evidence, better calibration, narrower scope, or clearer ownership before it reaches production users. Before a leader approves wider rollout, answer 3 questions in plain language. What decision will this evidence support? Who owns the signal when it disagrees with human judgment? What happens if the signal is wrong during a real incident? These questions connect observability, traces, spans, and agent timelines to accountability instead of turning it into another dashboard or checklist that nobody trusts when pressure rises. A useful mental model is mission control timeline. It reminds us that measurement is only useful when the instrument is understood, maintained, and read in context. Otherwise, the dashboard can create confidence without control. Our worked example is an incident dashboard for a production coding agent. In that workflow, the important pieces are turns, tool calls, sub-agents, spans. The agent can still be creative, but the system around it must make the important behavior inspectable. The build sequence is simple. Define what good means, capture the evidence, run the check before release, store the result, review failures, improve the workflow, repeat. That loop is slower than a one-off prompt, but it is how agent systems become dependable. Use the readiness rubric, trace ID, span hierarchy, tool events, human approvals, alert rule. If a team cannot point to each part, the release is relying on hope. Hope is not an operating model. The common mistake is treating logs as observability when nobody can see the agent timeline. It feels efficient because it avoids upfront work. It becomes expensive when the agent regresses, drifts, or fails, and nobody can explain why. Let us recap Lesson 25. For observability, traces, spans, and agent timelines, define the signal, capture the path, review the evidence, and connect the result to a release decision. Quality should be visible before trust is requested. The lesson learned is this: agent observability reconstructs what happened across turns, tools, and subagents. A production agent earns trust when quality, risk, and history are visible. Subscribe for Claude Code, Production AI Agents. The companion book is linked in the description. In Lesson 26, we use those traces to talk about failure modes and reliability engineering for agents.